Hello and welcome to another Scrawler live stream where I mess up all the technology and you enchant me. Welcome to where are we? June. We're in June. We're talking about ScrawlrBox 105, and hopefully, if I can get the link to work, we will have our featured artist Corp joining us. But at the moment, he's just lurking in the chat, and
yeah, it's a good place to be. You're surrounded by good
I sent him a link that doesn't work. Obviously, in the background there, you can hear my colleague and co-conspirator.
Oh, hi.
Kat.
That was very
Hi, I'm Chris, founder of ScrawlrBox. This is Kat. I've put us in the wrong way, so if I did this,
I'm Chris now.
It would be the wrong side. So,
hi, I'm Chris. I can't send a link.
I sent a link. I just added an extra letter. Removes the N on the end of the link. Corp. Apparently, I put an N in there for some reason. But yeah, hopefully, Corp will be joining us soon. But if not, he'll just lurk in the chat and we'll crack on without him. So yeah, welcome back. We did miss a live stream last month, the 104 one. I went away on holiday thinking that the internet would be good enough in the place where I was, and it wasn't. So kind of knocked that one on the head, thinking, yeah, we'll do it again next week. And then that didn't happen either. The week after didn't happen. And, here we are months later doing the next one. So we did not do a live stream for the 104 box, but if you really want us to, we can. We won't talk about it in this stream because we'll concentrate on the 105, the Posca box. But if you do want the 104 box live stream, maybe we can do a little mini one to catch up in between this one and the next one. So let us know in the comments or send us a message or harass me on any technology that I cannot use, and we will maybe do that for you. But yeah, welcome to this live stream, which we are doing, and hopefully, I think the last one we did also, didn't it cut off really early at the end, and I messed it up at the end as well. So
yeah,
not good stuff. I have got over the thing about
outstanding track record.
How long have I been doing this kind of not on me?
Here he is.
Here he is. Let's distract ourselves.
You made it.
I made it. Hello.
Here he is.
Hello.
Welcome. I can do us all in the right order this time now. Let's see if I can do that.
I'm not Chris anymore. I'm Kat. I can send me your links.
I'll put you down as Corp. I don't know what you want us to call you. Corp, Kane, the man, whatever.
It doesn't matter, mate. You call me whatever you want. It's fine.
Okay, that's risky, but okay. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Sorry I sent you the wrong link. As everyone was telling you in the chat, I am the master of messing this kind of stuff up. So we got there in the end.
I can't quite figure out why you just put a random N on the end of the link.
I think it's these chubby fingers just kind of mash the keyboard like this, and it's.
Were you typing out the link?
Yeah,
like, it's like a caveman. It's got to the point where you just.
Or maybe I was trying to copy. I don't know what I was trying to do. I did. I recognise I did the N, and then I deleted it, but then I must have not copied it. I don't know.
You're a pro, mate. You're a pro.
Just I'm an old man now. These things, it gets more difficult every day. Just stick to the analog stuff. I like paper and pens and stuff like that. If you give me a phone or iPad or some
Are you
something
gonna send the
like
link by pigeon next time?
and yeah, let's just have it, you know, video camera 8mm. We'll post it in a cinema or something. Yeah, so thank you very much for joining us today, Corp, and thank you for being our featured artist. Obviously,
Yeah.
we have this lovely box full of Poscas, which were, as you pointed out, quite a random selection. Maybe not your first choice, but we had these, and you managed to create this wonderful artwork.
Really cool.
I thought I'd just play it safe because yeah, the colors normally with the Posca colors, I'd always go for like 2 tones of the same color. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what you gave me there was like a bunch of real deep tones, and yeah, it was a bit of a challenge to work with. But I love a challenge, and yeah, I went for something that I was comfortable with, and I was really pleased with how it looked. Actually, it's been the first time I've worked with a couple of those colors, and you know, I class myself as a Posca artist, so you've introduced me to a few new colors there.
Wow. Well, there you go. Which one of them was your favorite? Do you know? It's like,
Was it the blue one? Is it a navy blue or?
Yeah, it's navy
Yeah.
blue.
That navy blue was really nice. I've still got the set there.
Yeah, I quite like the red wine.
Yeah, I like
one,
the
I like
right
the
wine
name
one.
of the red wine, and it
Hate
kind of doesn't. You didn't like the red
You
wine.
hate it.
No,
It
that's
didn't come out as red wine. It's more red winey as I thought. It's, you know, I thought
yeah,
it'd be
no,
darker being red wine, like a more burgundy or something. But
no, it's a nice color. But I really like the when they launched like deep red. Posca launched deep red what 6 months, about a year ago, something like that. I just fell in love with that color because it was like fresh blood. It was an amazing, real bright, sharp red, and it just kind of blew away all the other reds for me. So I just went off. I went off the red wine one.
yeah, I'd always go to. I think I've got about 50 of the aqua or whatever the kind of turquoisey tint. I think it's called aqua green or something
Aqua
like that.
green, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But then I just
That's Chris's color.
that's
That's his
just my color. I
go-to.
just, but every pen I get, I like, just go for that one first. And then work out
Every
the rest.
sample we get through. Let's go with turquoise.
Cat has to wind me back in. Like, what do you think about this color section? You've put in a turquoise again. Let's just not do turquoise again. But, it's hard. It's hard picking different colors every box because obviously we want each box to be, you know, maybe it's brights 1 month or yellow and oranges, and then, you know, you've got to kind of mix it up as well as mixing up the mediums. I like to mix up the palettes, especially when you kind of see them in the community feed that you get the, like, all the reds and blues of this box. There might be kind of greens and yellows next month or that kind of thing. So kind of try and mix up the palettes.
I guess that's why most people are subscribed to the box as well, is because they want something that's going to challenge them to be completely different every month.
Yeah.
You know, take them by surprise a little bit. And yeah, just changing the color palette is a nice, easy way of challenging.
Yeah, I definitely think the boxes are more successful, in my mind anyway, when it's a very limited color palette. Sometimes we get full sets of pastels we've had or pens or markers or something, and they have like the full rainbow spectrum, and it's kind of, yeah, it's good because you get to try out all the colors, but there's kind of, then there's no kind of limitation. You've got the full spectrum. Yeah, okay, only the primaries or tertiary colors, secondary or whatever. But when you've got just kind of orange, red, and a brown or whatever, that's kind of really limiting to what you do or what kind of it inspires you to make. I guess the colors kind of can point you in a certain direction as well.
100%. And one of the reasons I love Posca pens is because of their limited color palette. So, you know, there's not many, I don't think there's many pen sets where you can memorize every single color, but I think I've probably got every single Posca color kind of like up in the bank, because there's only like 50 odd. So it's nice and easy. You know, if you want a green, there's only like 4 greens you can choose from. So it makes that kind of decision-making process a lot quicker and a lot easier. Yeah, I really like that. And you get your favorite color combos that you want to work with as well.
What is your favorite color combo? Like, what's your go-to?
Well, do you know, it's not just because you said you've got loads of aqua green knocking around. But aqua green and emerald green are just a beautiful color combo for like a light shade and a dark shade of the same color. They work really nicely together.
I'm a big fan of the slate. Is it slate grey as well? That one's quite nice.
I do like a good grey.
Yeah. Yeah, slate grey is nice. It works really well with the normal grey as well. Oh, there you go. There's my there's some combos. So you can see, like, I've got the aqua and the emerald in on that.
I see. Yeah, like, they work good on like shading.
And that's where it works really well. That you can do that like 2 tones of shading. So these are like the red and the coral, ochre and yellow, and the couple of greens there as well. And it's just nice to be able to kind of build a little bit of shape, a bit of depth to your artwork just by using another color.
Yeah, and Poscas. I mean, every time we put in Poscas in a box, that people love them. They are kind of, they're a paint marker, even though it's ink. They're kind of, I guess they fall into that kind of paint marker bracket. But
Yeah,
there's nothing else that really comes close to them. The way they're opaque, and it's just like the matte-ness and the way that they finish is just like really good. There's a lot of acrylic markers or paint markers, but it's not quite the same.
yeah. I think Posca on the right material is perfect. So like the Art Gecko freestyle sketchbooks, that was a game changer when they launched them a couple of years.
You love an Art Gecko book. They're so good, aren't they?
They're really good, and they come branded with the Doodle with Cork branding as well now, which I absolutely love. But yeah, that works really well. It's just getting it on like a bit of cardboard or on some nice paper. Have you tried the? Have you ever had the Molotov One for All pens?
Yeah, we love those. We've had them in a box before.
Yeah. What I love about those is that they're color matched with the spray paints as well.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do some like big spray paint work, but then still bring in exactly the same color with the paint marker as well. Yeah. And they're refillable as well. So
they are refillable. I think that's where Posca are kind of missing a trick. But
yeah.
But I spoke to someone about that at uni, and they were saying that it would be difficult because they got the different nib types. Like, I think they said there's different inks for the different sizes. So even though you've got the navy blue, when you've got the 8M, the big one, and like the 1ML or whatever, it's the really tiny one, they might be different, same color but different inks, because the smaller one has to be slightly thinner than the big one and things like that. So
that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense, because like the thickness of the nib, you kind of want the paint to be able to travel through the nib at a good consistency. So I can understand that. Yeah.
So that's why they said they weren't doing refillable. Maybe they will in the future, but yeah, that is good. The One for Alls, they are good, and they do some empty ones as well, so you can buy the inks and mix your own colors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I'll be honest with you. The main reason I love Posca is just because of the convenience of it as well. You know, as much as I get the the sustainability of a refillable pen is great. I love being able to just pick up a pen and work with it, rather than having to fiddle about with like changing the nib or filling it up and unscrewing it and making sure the spring goes back in or whatever else you got to do as well. So I'm a little bit lazy like that, I guess.
Yeah.
No, efficient. That's what I meant. Efficient.
You like to work quick.
I quite like when I'm using Poscas is they get better the longer you use them, because I like it when the nib is, when it's brand new, it's a bit too stiff, and as soon as you start, especially with the bigger ones, you start breaking it down, it gets a bit softer, the ink starts flowing more, and you can kind of, I mean, depending on what surface you're, if you're like working on wood or something like that as well, it kind of gets a nice flow out, I think. It down a bit.
I agree. The only issue I have is that I run a few workshops with like kids and even adults sometimes, and like they've just got a huge disrespect for the nib. Sometimes my pens come back and they look like mushrooms on the end. The nibs have been yeah, it's like there's just a little bit used, which is what you're saying, Chris. Yeah, just a little bit kind of just a nice softer nib, but sometimes they come back and they're like twice the size they need to be.
Yeah.
Split.
To be fair, I like when you get to the big ones, like the not the 5Ms, the is it 7, the big ones.
Yeah.
I like them when they're completely. And yeah, if you're using a 5M or a 3M and you kind of want that detail, then fine. But if the bigger ones, I really like it when they're kind of twice the size. You just get bigger, thicker lines, especially if you're doing like larger, big pieces. So.
Yeah. I also like just using a pen that is knackered, and like where most people would like look at a pen and think, I can't use that. It's not good enough. It's not brand new. I like to show people that actually you just pick up a knackered old pen. You can still work with it. There might be a few little bits you have to work with, but don't let a lack of like the perfect setup of materials stop you from doing something creative.
Yeah, you might get some interesting textures or something out of it if it doesn't.
Yeah, I love a good texture, and like a frayed nib would give you a lovely like rough thing.
Also a little bit more liberating. Do you know what I mean? If like your stuff's knackered already, it's like, well, it don't matter now because all inhibitions are gone. You're not expecting too much from your artwork, so it can be a bit more liberating as well.
Yeah, trying to let go. Well, that is good. Well, and then also we also included these 5 colors with the black, not a white, but this kind of ivory, slightly off white. And then I was like, well, what else would you want to include? And you kind of said, let's include a grey marker, which I didn't think of before, because I don't know, I've never really, I don't, I guess it's in my own head. I kind of feel like I'm either using Posca markers or I'm using alcohol markers. You know, it's kind of maybe more with the pens and like fine liners and stuff like that. But paint markers, it's like mixing acrylics with alcohol or something, almost to that level. And it's a bit too daunting for me. When you said it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, especially with the grey. And you said maybe for shadows, and yeah, it's really good.
I use it a lot, and it looks really nice. Like if you're on a piece of cardboard or something like that, because it just kind of darkens the tone of the cardboard. You know, the Posca colors still pop out, but the alcohol grey there that you've got just gives you those little subtle shadows that you can just put in, or little drop shadows, things like that.
Like you're putting on like around this bit here, I think.
Yeah, and it's like, and even just like the little drop shadow around the beam or bob, the writing. You can barely see it, but it's just nice and subtle enough that it just makes it kind of jump out off the page a little bit more. The only issue we've got, there was a few people in the comments actually just talking about how they appreciated the alcohol marker going in. The only issue with that alcohol marker is if you kind of do it over the top of the Posca marker and go too many times with it, it can sometimes like stir up the paint. But the alcohol will kind of like loosen the paint, so you're kind of best to either give it one light coat or try and do it beforehand, so you know where all the shadows are going to be first.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, because it works well on like the cardboard as like a drop shadow, but then if you're going on top of the paint, the alcohol will obviously activate it at a point.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you are very good at tips, and we also included some in our zine, Wonky and Fine, and you talk about reusing and recycling. You use a lot of old cardboard pieces and things like that. But you also kind of teaching. You've got the Corp Academy, and I wanted to touch on that a bit because you were kind enough to give our subscribers a discount to join the Corp Academy, and I just wanted to know, do you want to talk a bit about that and what that is and what it means?
Yeah. Well, this is why I love sharing tips about how to draw with marker pens, and so I set up the Corp Academy probably about 2 or 3 years ago now, and it's just where I teach people online how to draw. One of the lessons in the Corp Academy is called Posca Club, and we just play around with Posca pens for an hour, and it's all kind of step by step, easy stuff. Start and finish a drawing within an hour, sometimes half an hour, nice and quick, so people have got that kind of quick hit as well. Because everyone's busy. Everyone's kind of doing stuff, but they still want to be creative, but not spend 6 weeks like creating a piece sometimes. So it's like it's just an online drawing club, really.
And I'm sure you've got like a big archive of kind of little projects that people can tap into on there as well.
There's about 700 videos.
Christ.
So it's building up. I'm toying with the idea of like, when do I say that I've got a bigger archive than Skillshare? And it's just me. I will test that out. I'll check it out one day just to see how many videos. I'll probably find out Skillshare's got like 10,000 videos, and I've got a few more years to go. But yeah, there's a huge archive of content there. So what I do is I kind of do live sessions. I go live 3 times a week for members only, 3 times a week. So we jump on a Zoom call. And that gets recorded as well and becomes one of the drawing tutorials. So doing that 3 times a week, doing 2 videos a week, drawing tutorials a week, we soon build up into a massive archive of content. So there's loads for people to choose. And I don't just do Posca stuff. I started up something called Pro Marker Club, I think it was, or something like that. But then Pro Marker decided they didn't want to sponsor me, so I went and moved over to Spectrum Noir, and they were good pens as well. I just renamed it Color Club. So I like to teach people like loads of different sorts of pens as well. So it's not just Posca stuff.
So you're not just a Posca king; you're a marker king.
I love a marker pen. I love the instantness, if that's a word, of it. I got in a bit of trouble recently over the last couple of days because in one of my videos I said that pencils are for losers. What I meant by that was don't let that leap from like doing your first few pencil guidelines into marker pen work. Don't let that kind of hold you back. Just use it a little bit. I mean, I use pencils a lot myself, so I'm a loser, and I don't mind that. I love how quick you can move with a marker pen. So just get on with a marker pen, especially a Posca. If you make a mistake, dead easy to fix a Posca mistake.
Yeah, just go over it, don't you? They're nice and thick like that.
You know, wait for it to dry. Yeah, have the confidence. That's the main thing. Is like making sure people have got the confidence to know, wait for it to dry, and then fix it under their own terms. Because you know what it's like when you make a mistake with your artwork. It's almost like it's the mistake is kind of pointing at you, saying, "Ha, you've made a mistake over here. Look at me, look at me, look at me." So you kind of want to fix it straight away. But if you've got the confidence to kind of let it lie there, let it kind of tease you for a bit, knowing that when it's dry, you can just put a great big fly over it, or draw something over the top to get rid of it.
A good lessons in patience and spontaneity.
Yeah, exactly. And I also believe that when you make a mistake, that's when your brain goes up a gear. That's when you kind of you're just cruising along when you're drawing. You're just doing all those things you've learned all the time. As soon as something goes wrong, you're like, nearly swore. As soon as something goes wrong, you're like, oh dear, I need to fix that. So that's when I think your brain kind of starts thinking of imaginative ways of fixing something that you wasn't really expecting.
Yeah.
So in some ways, I know it's a bit Bob Ross, but in some ways, I really love a mistake. I love it when things go wrong. I love pushing students so they make little mistakes so that I can show them how easy it is to fix a mistake as well. Because the confidence they get from that, just they can take on, in their real lives as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Happy accidents.
Excellent. Happy accident. Thanks, Bob.
Happy accidents, yeah. It's all about accidents.
Yeah. All right. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk. Well, before we get too far into this, because it's great chatting to you, but I've got a couple of not admin things, but what I want to talk about is we'll talk about the Scrawler challenges, and I sent you. I don't know whether you've got any, but me and Kat picked a couple we can talk about from some of the artists, because that is one of the best bits about ScrawlrBox is the Scrawler challenge. Your artwork is great, but then seeing what it inspires all our users to create with all the same supplies is one of my favorite times. But we also do this weekly Scrawler sketch on our Facebook community, and each week we have a different prompt. And part of our live stream is that me and Kat pick one of our favorite ones from the last few weeks, and we've put them up. There's a live poll now in our community tab. Let me just get rid of our names. You probably know who we are by now. And these are the two. So it's an ongoing competition, but these are the two that we've chosen this week. I think A was something found in the attic. Was that right, Kat?
Yeah, something you'd find in the attic is the prompt.
B was sea urchin. So they're from two different weeks, and these are the ones that we chose. And if you go over to the community tab now, there's a live poll where you can select either A or B and vote for those, and we will send the winning artist either A. I won't tell you who they are yet until the end, and then you might know who they are if you're in the community. Pick your favorite, vote for it in the community tab, and then at the end we will pick whoever's got the most votes will have a Scrawler pack, I think.
What, the one and only final one?
The last one, because I found it, I forgot. Otherwise, I would have had to send it out. But yeah, we did have Scrawler packs. I think the last time we had a live, I was just giving away the last ones that I had then, and then since then, we've made them and then sold out of them again. So unfortunately,
within hours, it was absolutely mental.
We've missed that boat again.
I sweated my ass off packing them.
Yeah, I was very disappointed that she spent like 2 days packing them all up, and then they sold out in 20 minutes or something. But obviously, we have loads more art supplies and hanging around. We just need the time to pack them all up. So they will be back. This is the last one, which will go to one of those artists. And then if you put what should we put in the comments? Bring Scrawler pack or bring back the Scrawler pack, and I'll send someone in the comments another prize. We've got some other stuff hanging around. What have I got for you? This Winsor Newton, what was it? Gifts. It's a gift set.
It's very pretty.
Cotman watercolor set with some ink, some paper.
Nice.
So something in the comments, if you bring back the Scrawler pack or just Scrawler packs, then we'll give you that. Let's send the artist with the winning poll the Scrawler pack. Yeah, so get voting on those, and we'll come back to that at the end. But we have got some Scrawler challenges, because the challenge was off the wall, and the idea was, okay, it's a bit different. It was the idea to not necessarily use the paper, do what Corp does, and find a bit of card, bit of recycling. Poscas are so good that they can go on pretty much any surface. So why be limited to a square white piece of paper? And looking at all the great posts on the community feed, there was loads of artwork that came back. Loads of people used the boxes, which was great. Just other bits of cardboard around. Corp, I think you even did video with you did a bit of work on the front of the zine. I think I remember.
Yeah, it's a nice big gap for it to be drawn on.
I assumed you left me that gap for me to draw on. So,
yes, I did.
felt
It wasn't because I couldn't think of anything to fill the pages. You're right.
Yeah,
Chris, it was intentional.
Of course it was. Oh,
every single time now.
Yeah.
That's what next month's zine is going to be completely blank. Fill it
The
in
inside.
yourself. Insert your own tips here, and yeah. So that was fun. So we've got me, Kat, and I don't know whether I did say if you could choose one, but I don't know. I didn't. You may have sent it to me, but you're probably worrying about the link before. But Kat and I chose one if I can find it. I'll start with my choice, which is I've lost it. This one, which is by
Oh yeah, that one's nice.
Beautiful.
Dwin Mordine. I'm gonna go with that. I think that's about right. But this was on the inside of the box. I love the snake. I love the kind of, it's got like an Aztec-y feel of like the triangles in the background, and using the textures of the doodle pattern in the cardboard is really nice. Yeah, it just really stood out to me. I like the way the Poscas are so opaque, but you can still, the cardboard texture is great. You did it in your piece, like leaving that cardboard texture, you get the ridges on some of it, or you get the pattern in this case. Yeah, I just think it was really great, this one. I guess it's my style, I do like these kind of tentacles and swirling. You get to see like the thickness of the snake. And the head's really cool as well. So
yeah, I love this. One of the things I don't teach people to draw is like tentacles and snakes and things like that, because it's quite difficult to get it kind of like twisting backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
The fact on this one that they've got the front, the back, the top, all kind of done, and the nice little curves for the underneath of the belly, just getting all of those in the right place as well. Just really nice.
It is difficult because I've done a lot of tentacles doodles in my past, and it's kind of you see that kind of you know how it could work, but it's really hard to kind of get it right sometimes, and like maybe you do like it goes too much one way or one the other, and just sometimes it just doesn't look right. But
it's weird because if it was just a snake in nature that was just kind of laying there, it would look great. But as it's a drawing, it's like every single curve you've got to think about. Just doing that inside curve is just so much smaller than an outside curve, which is so much bigger, and just getting all of that just right. And I can't see, is there any pencil? I can't see any pencil lines. I can see a little drop shadow with looks like the alcohol mark has been used in there a little bit as well. Nice, but I can't see any pencil lines, which it looks like they've gone straight in with it. Looks really nice.
Yeah, no, that's really good. So I saw that one. It stood out to me. There was loads, and if you haven't already, go to the community page on the website or #Scrawler Challenge on Instagram. Although they're making it more difficult to find the artworks there, but we try to do all on the community page, and there's loads, and we'll feature more of these. Will be in the zine for the 107 in July. That box. That's when we'll share all the artworks that we've put. So there's still time, if you haven't done it already, to get your artwork in and share it with us.
Yeah.
For this box or previous. Okay, so let's have a look at the one Kat chose, which is this one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's her Instagram. I couldn't remember. Was it just from Facebook community?
I found it on Facebook community. That's why it's her name, Sarah Mel. I don't know the Instagram handle.
Yeah, sorry. Sarah Mel. This was her work. And
I just love that she's literally cut out bits of the box, so the pens, the paintbrushes, and then made a whole montaging layer of different things with the box, and then painted a character on it, which is really cool. I really like it. Just adding everything together. She really thought out of the box, literally.
out of the box, using the box, in the box.
Yeah. I love it. I love those dots everywhere. I love a good dot. It just looks really cool. Very original. I didn't see anything else, anything like this. I love it.
Yeah.
And even the paper, because we included the card, she's put that in there too.
Cut into triangles, yeah.
It's like it's exploded into her creation. I like that.
Yeah, I really like the torn swirls. They're really cool. Like, I don't know whether I'd have thought of that. Like, I understand the cutting out of the pens and layering that up, and then those swirls are really cool with the torn edges. I guess they've kind of cut out the art supplies really neatly, and then I think
Yeah, and then the other
they've
bits are ripped.
have they shaded them, or is that they look like they've done a bit of
I
shading.
don't
It
know
might be
what it
3D.
looks like it's been ripped.
It might be 3D. I'm looking close, but you look close. You have to go close to the camera. Yeah, no, that's really good. That was Sarah Mel. Sorry, I don't have your Instagram, but you're on the Facebook community group.
Yeah.
Yeah, great work. So yeah, there's just a couple of Scrawler Challenge artworks that we've loved over the past few weeks, and there is more. We
Loads more.
have we chosen we've chosen our top three.
We have,
decided?
yeah, and I
You've
contacted
me.
them today.
So the top three have been chosen. They'll be once we've got confirmation back from them, they'll be up on the website, and then we will have loads in our zine in July in the gallery pages. This was from the month three. So we run a couple of months behind, so you get a bit of time to get your artwork together. I know some people do it straight away. Some people, as I say, struggle to find the time to get it all together. But excellent, right? So that's the Scrawler sketch. If you've got any, I haven't been looking at the chat at all, unfortunately. Probably been getting loads of abuse, but
A lot of cat in the hat, pack is a pack talk.
So, but if you've got any, while we've got Corp here, got any questions for him, then put them in the chat. Put some Scrawler packs in the chat. Remember to vote on the poll. And
Cat with a cat in a hat, packing a pack.
or some votes coming in. Some votes coming in. It's all good. Yeah. So, what else can we talk about? There's some topics that we were discussing on the Facebook community. Is are you the kind of person who rips pages out of sketchbooks? That is that in a I hate this artwork, I'm ripping it out and chucking it away kind of thing, or I'm ripping it out and I'm putting it on the wall. It was like, get rid of this page. It's horrible.
A get rid of this page. I hate you.
Are you that kind of person, Corp? Or
it's weird. So I really like the idea. There's a project, isn't there, where it's like a destroy your sketchbook project.
Oh yeah.
Where before you've even started drawing in it, you've got to see how badly you can destroy it. So people are like putting their sketchbooks in a washing machine, kicking it around the garden, and it's like a real knackered, grimy, horrible looking sketchbook, but it's got the most beautiful textures and where the paper's swollen and half torn and all sorts like that, and it just gives you so much like a bit of a kickstart for whatever page you're on. There's something interesting there to kind of get you started. So I really love that idea. I'm a little bit guilty. I never kind of like sketch in a sketchbook. If I sketch like an idea down, I'll just do it on an A4 sheet of paper and then that'll go in the bin almost straight away.
Recycling bin.
Yeah, recycling bin. For sketchbooks, it's like I treat them like they're a piece of art on their own. So every single page has to be a finished piece of art. And yeah, it would bother me if I had a page in there that was a little bit knackered, and made a mistake on. I think I'd be tempted to tear it out, chuck it away. I don't think I've ever torn a page out of a sketchbook and then put it up on the wall.
No,
not done that.
I think
it's
a
horrific mistake. I just tend to draw something I like, but then stick that in there instead, so it covers the bit I hate looking at. So I've got something nice to look at again.
Yeah, my youngest does exactly the same. So they love a spiral-bound sketchbook. They love tearing the pages out, turning them over, and then sticking them back in. So the dodgy like little square bits.
Oh, that's
kind of sticking out one side. And yeah, they'll quite happily, if there's something they don't like, they'll just tear out a little piece of paper that's the right size, stick it over the top, and then just draw something else. And by the time they finish the sketchbook, it just looks amazing because it's like, first of all, it's like twice the thickness of a regular sketchbook because of how much paper's been rammed into there. But yeah, it's weird. It's like, even though it's my child, their technique for their sketchbook is the exact opposite of what I do with mine.
Yeah. Love that. They've obviously taken a bit of influence from you and thought, I'm going to do it different.
Yeah. What most kids do, yeah. Whatever the parents doing, I'm going to do it different to you. Well,
I think that's kind of like what you're saying about that destroy your sketchbook project. That's kind of the thing, isn't it? It's like when you get a new sketchbook, it's pristine. It's got all these lovely clean white pages, and we've spoken about it before. It's like how I'm some strange psychopath who just opens it up in the middle and starts straight in the middle rather than
It's
on the
weird.
first page. But that's because I have a real fear of the first page of a sketchbook, because that's the page that you open it up to first, and it has to be the best bit of artwork. So I'm like, well, just ignore that, open up. And also, if it's a lay flat one or not, then the middle is normally the best, because it's, you know, you'll be flat on both sides. But yeah, it's kind of that. Yeah, although, and my sketchbooks are kind of sketchbook stroke notebooks and schooling, so I'm not that precious about the artwork in it, but that first page, and it's kind of just the pristineness. So maybe if you just chuck it in the washing machine or kick around the garden for a bit first, you kind of get over that preciousness about it and just kind of get on with it.
I did a workshop with some kids not so long back. Jimmy Wilmot is another great artist who was helping me do these workshops. And it was all kind of themed about the cost of living. So Posca gave us loads of pens, Art Gecko gave us loads of sketchbooks. So it's all like a real treat for these kids to get like loads of valuable art materials. And I didn't want it to be, I didn't want them to kind of be a little bit insecure about like using them because they were expensive and because it was a nice opportunity for them. So yeah, we just did like what you said, just open it up into the middle of the sketchbook. Let's just draw something really quick, and it's meant to be rubbish. Stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like, you know, the expectation was it's not got to look good, it's got to look rubbish, and it's got to have wonky lines, and it's got to have you got to at some point have smudged the paint across the page as well, and stuff like that. So yeah, but nowadays I don't even think about it too much. I've got sketchbooks coming out my ears, so but from first page I'll just go and draw something on it. If it's no good, it's no biggie. I'll just go to the next page. Yeah. I think you know, when I was younger, I was definitely very insecure as an artist, but I think being an artist makes you quite thick-skinned, because you're showing people your baby. You know, when you open your sketchbook, that's like showing them your child. And for somebody to say, "Oh, I don't really like it," it's like that's brutal. But it just kind of, you know, I think as soon as people get used to that fact, and actually, if they don't like it, that's their issue. They, you know, as long as you're enjoying your artwork, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I think a lot of that negativity also comes from social media, and how a lot of people tend to compare themselves to other people. And like, I think people sometimes you take that in. I sometimes take that in. I'm like, oh, why am I not like that? And then if someone said something negative, I think, of course I'm like that because I'm not like that. You know, it's like a cycle.
But I think everyone's like that. I think, you know, even those artists that we look up to and think they're the most amazing artists, they get the same kind of feelings. I think I've always said that's what kind of drives you on as an artist, that feeling of failure, that feeling of doing a picture and thinking, that's not very good, I should have done this better and this better. That's what makes you a better artist each time. So as long as you can channel that into doing better next time rather than quitting and not bothering again, then I think it's a good feeling. I think any artist that kind of draws a picture and thinks, yeah, that's pretty good, that, I'm done.
Move on.
They're really going to learn any more from going forward. That you need to have that kind of like slight negativity. And also, do you find that, like, you know, when you're looking at other people's artwork, you always look at the best bits in their artwork. When you look at your own, you always see the bits that you did wrong. So it's always great. Yeah, it's always great, I think, to kind of get a bit of peer feedback, see what other people are looking at in your artwork, because they'll see things they won't even notice the bits that you think you've done wrong.
No,
and that's what.
In our last Scrawlzine, the one that just went out, there was someone, I've forgotten who they were, I'm really sorry if you're watching, but there was a picture in there that they'd said was literally just a quick scribble. They were just playing with the supplies. I thought it looked amazing, so I wanted to put it in there. And in the group, they were like, I can't believe they've chosen that picture. Like, it was just a quick, off-the-cuff thing, but I was like, I thought it looked great.
Yeah. And I've curated a few exhibitions in the past as well, and you can't, it doesn't matter how much you try, you can't choose what artwork is going to be generally accepted and be seen by people as the good artwork. It just doesn't work like that. You've just got to throw everything in, because it's so personal. And that's a cliche, but it really is personal.
So we're not ripper outers of sketchbook pages. Did you say you work at? Would you do that? You
No,
rip
I
it out and
cover
then
it with
stick something
something
over it.
nicer. Yeah.
I probably normally, if I had a sketchbook and I'd do something, I'd kind of just leave it, go on to the next one, and then maybe come back to it later and
Mm.
just do something else over the top of it. But I think I'd rip it out.
Do you
I
guys do one sketchbook at a time, or
Yeah.
you got multiple sketchbooks on the go?
Yeah. They're all for
uh,
different things.
yeah, yeah. I've got my kind of notebook sketchbook, which I kind of use for just kind of ideas and doodles and writing notes and just kind of lists and to-do lists, and that's going to find my notebook. And I've got a bigger A4 sketchbook, which I try and do more considered pieces for. And then again, like you, I just kind of just pick up a random bit of A4 paper, probably more than likely, because then you don't feel so pressured.
Yeah. There's something freeing about a free piece of paper.
Yeah, you just
hide
write on a
it.
few jobs that you need to do, and then when you've done them, you just chuck that bit of paper away, and it feels like you've achieved something.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So next level to-do listing, that is.
I just keep repeating my to-do list. I write a to-do list, cross 2 things off, and then take the 8 things I didn't do, put it into a new one, and then add 5 more things onto that, and then cross off 2. It's kind of never ending.
Yeah.
Um,
We've
right.
got some questions for Corp.
Oh,
if you
okay.
don't mind.
Excellent.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Amy May asks, what is your ultimate art goal? Do you have something you want to achieve?
I don't think I do. I think right from being a young age, I was always creative, and so it's like it's a very natural thing for me to want to draw and be creative. So as long as I can carry on doing that, I'm really happy. What's happened recently that I've really got a lot of reward out of is that Corp Academy stuff. You know, being able to show other people, especially people that say they can't draw,
Yeah.
and showing them that actually they can draw. That's been really rewarding. So I'd love to do a little bit more of that. Hearing about people that have got like mental health issues as well, or PTSD. There was one guy on YouTube who said that he suffers with PTSD. So when he first starts drawing, his hands shaking loads and his lines all over the place. But then within a few minutes, his hand just calms down and he's nice and smooth with his line work. And that's something that I just thought we're just doing a bit of doodling here, but actually to see the impact that it has, and I'm still learning this, the impact that it has to kind of help people who have got like mental health issues to, to calm themselves or to reset and that kind of stuff. It's just astonishing. So I never thought I'd be an art teacher. That was never on the cards for me. I always just wanted to be a stencilized, and.
And here you are.
But yeah. I
Did
just
you do art at school? Did you do art at school?
I'm always the most underqualified artist in any workshop that I run, because my best grade was a grade D in art for GCSE. But to be fair, my wife was in the classroom. I mean, she wasn't my wife at the time. She was like, a potential girlfriend at the time. So I'm blaming her for my poor grades with him.
He distracted you.
She wasn't your muse.
I was too busy planning a future.
Does she look like the cork worm? Is that where that originated from? Is that?
What?
It's just interesting how what kind of where art school and were your art teachers not good or were they good? Because it's kind of, I remember art. I liked doing art lessons, but I never wanted to be an art teacher. My wife's a teacher, and I was like, well, maybe because for the school holidays, she has a school holiday. It would be handy if we both did, but I don't think I could be like that. Well, maybe I could go do a secondary school art class, but I was like,
Yeah.
that's
Let's be clear. Yeah. Trying to stick to a curriculum and be that kind of an art teacher. Sod that. I want to teach people how to draw unicorn poo, or how to draw zombies. It doesn't matter. Whatever I want to teach, I can just teach them. And if they want to learn, they'll learn. And it's a very good way of kind of getting a loyal group in that want to learn your style of artwork, because there is no curriculum to it.
It's not an exam. You don't pass or fail.
There's no exam. Yeah, it's just, and I'm not really an art teacher. I just draw with people and show them a few little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way that make it a lot easier to draw and create. I love being able to pick my own subject matter and just run.
I think it's good.
You could be as well.
Sorry.
I think you could be an art teacher if it was just like teaching. The only thing I'm ever going to teach is what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we could all do
Yeah, I
it.
think that's where I struggle with kind of like sticking to the curriculum and doing all the things that have to
Mm.
tick boxes and make sure, which I guess it has to be structured, I guess, that makes sense. They have to be able to grade it against something, and if they need something to grade it against, but
Mm.
and I did GCSE, and then I went and did A level. In A level, it was kind of a bit more freeing, but kind of they let you a bit more loose and into the kind of the realms of fine art to do what you wanted. But yeah, still kind of had to tick the boxes and do certain things. So, but
Yeah. And I think as well, things have changed a lot as well. So, Chris, I'm going to expect that you, like me, you're like late 20s, something like that. So,
yeah.
back in our day, when we was at school, there was no social media and stuff like that. So it's like if you wanted to get on, you needed qualifications. You needed something to put on a CV that you could take to a
Oh my God,
gallery
yeah, so
that
much
would make them
pressure.
take notice of you. Whereas nowadays, you don't need that. You need a viral hit that is, or you need a strong social following, or just do something that nobody else is doing. And there's a shop window for you nowadays, which kids can grow up broadcasting doodle sessions from their bedroom, just with a little camera, and end up making a career out of that. And I love the fact that it's that easy and accessible.
Yeah. There is a couple. So the Doodle kid, well, he's pretty good, young lad. He's done quite well.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see. And I similar to you, kind of, we do this kind of drink and draw thing here in the office, just to kind of it's kind of like it's an excuse, like ScrawlrBox. It's the same thing. It's an excuse to do it. It's a weekly thing, or it's month thing, or whatever it is. It's a session, a time slot to go and do some art, whether or drawing or whatever it is. It's not like that's why I wanted to do the drink and draw. So I've got an hour or a couple of hours so we can do some drawing once a month, or like ScrawlrBox is saying. It's like it's an excuse. Maybe it's not about getting new supplies. It's just about, okay, now I've got an art project. So every month I've got an art project, and